Alright, so what is going on, everyone? Doozy here, and boy oh boy, we seriously just got a massive bombshell from the new Bungie stream as well as the Vidoc, and a lot of this was about the Shadowkeep DLC, but then I kind of touched on just the future of Destiny in general, so there was a bunch of stuff to go over, especially from the Vidoc, and I'll probably make a separate video on that on its own. But anyways, we got our first bit of information about the Shadowkeep DLC, which is launching September 17th, so it turns out the leaks were true. And the first thing I actually want to cover on this is that the Shadowkeep DLC is going to be a standalone expansion, so you don't have to own any of the previous Destiny content, no Curse of Osiris, no Warmind, or anything like that, which honestly I think that is a really great move, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would kind of just ignore it if they had to purchase Curse of Osiris and Warmind and everything. But then aside from that, obviously, my girl Eris is back, and she's sending us back to the moon. And they also mentioned that this is going to revolve mostly around Eris and everything going on the moon. So for example, they touched on these things called nightmares, and they said basically they are resurrected bosses that have actually been resurrected by the darkness itself, which I mean, that alone sounds pretty intense. And in the actual trailer, we got to see Gaul, Crota, and Skolas, and also I think we might have seen Atheon as well. I don't think there was Oryx in there, which I think that would be pretty cool as well. But yeah, it seems like these bosses are somehow being brought back by the darkness, and they said that the nightmares are remnants of Guardians' pasts. But anyways, when they were going over these nightmares, they actually kept mentioning how the darkness is closer than we realize. But anyways, moving on from there, they actually mentioned the raid, or at least the location of the raid, which I really did not expect. And it turns out we're going back to the Black Garden, which was honestly one of my favorite places in Destiny 1, just like the aesthetic of it and the way it looked. And then something else that kind of relates to this is they mentioned that they want more events like the Last Wish. You know, they want the world to evolve. And, you know, for this, they referenced the Last Wish, how after the first fire team beat it, you know, the curse was unleashed on the Dreaming City. So, you know, we may have a new event like that that kind of relates to this with the Black Garden, and it may change the moon even more. And then they had a little text pop up where they mentioned there were going to be new dungeons. They didn't really go in depth with this, but they have stated that they realized that players really enjoyed the Shattered Throne, and that, you know, we would like to see more events like this. So hopefully this new dungeon is on the same level as the Shattered Throne, maybe even a little bit better. But anyways, something that I was actually really glad that they mentioned is that they're going to start embracing the MMO element of this and allowing us to have more character customization and or just like character builds, which I've honestly wanted for so long. And we actually got to see a little bit of what's coming in the Vidoc that they posted. For instance, there was a part where they were talking about the armor and how you can now interchange mods, and they work differently on your armor. But not only that, they also mentioned an artifact, and from the looks of it, there were like perks that are already in game, but you can actually select them on this artifact. So when they mentioned those two, that definitely caught my attention. They didn't really say anything about, you know, further weapon customization, because honestly, I think that would be pretty cool as well, you know, to have maybe customization similar to the Division, or maybe not that extreme, but, you know, to be able to trick out our guns a little bit more than just throwing on like a, you know, a hip fire mod on or something like that. Anyways, they also introduced something called finishing moves. Now this looked, it looked pretty crazy, I'm not going to lie, especially the Hunter one. So honestly, I have no idea how these are going to work just yet, because they didn't really, you know, go into depth with that. But from what they showed, the Hunter does like this aerial attack with these knives. The Warlock does like this, it's like a palm strike, and it like sends the enemy flying. And then of course the Titan, they do a Superman punch, of course, because Titans. But yeah, like I said, I don't know how these are going to work, but they look pretty sick, I will say that. And they kind of touched on how they're, you know, having a renewed focus on PvP. They didn't really go too much in that, but, you know, it's good to hear that they're actually trying to improve PvP. And speaking of that, we also got to see the Widow's Court map from Destiny 1. They kind of teased that a little bit. Honestly, that was one of my favorite maps, especially for Iron Banner. But yeah, anyways, lastly, we also got to see a little bit of a tease with some new exotics. So the first one was actually a heavy exotic bow, and with the little clip, she actually shoots it on the ground and it sends all these enemies like flying up in the air. But then the two that I was really excited about was, first off, the exotic trace rifle, and this one actually says that it makes a giant crit spot on the enemy, which, I mean, depending on how that plays out, it sounds like it could be pretty insane. I mean, imagine if this gives you like a massive increase in damage to weak spots or something. And then the last one they showed was an exotic hand cannon, and immediately when I saw this, I thought of Borderlands first thing, because it's got like this scope on it, and they said it's more of like a sniper, but in the form of a pistol. And as he continued to shoot it, he actually started to catch on fire. But yeah, the last bits of information that we actually got on this was that Destiny 2 is actually moving to Steam, and all your stuff is going to move over with it, you know, all your gear and everything, it'll transfer over. And lastly, the big one is cross-save has finally been confirmed for all platforms. They actually just confirmed it with Sony yesterday. So literally the last minute, they finally got Sony to give in. And honestly, I think this is great because I've wanted to play on PC for so long, but I seriously I did not want to go level up 3 characters again and go try to get all my loot and go through all the exotic quests and trying to get good weapons and stuff again. It's just, there's no way. But now don't have to worry about that because cross-save is finally coming. And yeah, there was just so much that they revealed with this. Like I said, the stream, they covered a lot of stuff. They kind of gave some insights on some stuff as well. You know, they covered some questions with Dado. And then on top of that, like I mentioned, there was the vidoc, which I'm going to try and break down even further. I kind of just covered some of the more basic stuff with this. But yeah, anyways, guys, the future of Destiny is, honestly, it is looking bright. And Bungie, they kept stressing that now they can actually make the game, with the vision that they had for the game, and they don't have to focus about a business model or anything like that. So yeah, throwing some big shade at Activision there. So honestly, I can't wait to see how it plays out. So excited. Alright, yeah, so anyways, guys, that is about it for this video. So like I mentioned, I'm going to try and cover the actual vidoc more in depth. So I guess be on the lookout for that. I'll try to have it out tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you could leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd actually appreciate it. Also, subscribe if you're new here. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I will catch you all later.